It's only going to be us here for that. Shall I wait 1 minute, or shall I move ahead? Are you a little... Good morning. Welcome to the February 20th, 2014 Downtown Design Review meeting. First order of business is to silence your telephones or pagers, if anybody still has those. And I always do that as a reminder to myself. First order of business is roll call.
Betsy Brunstetter.
Present.
Gigi Faulkner. Present. And Charles Ainsworth. Ike Akinwande. Present. Connie Scothorn. Present. Richard Tannenbaum. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. Approval of minutes. I assume everyone has read the minutes. Do we have a motion? That's Ike and Connie. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're good to go with that. We have one continuance request. Does anybody have any problems with the continuance request? Is there an issue with anyone in the gallery? Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That was Gigi and Ike. There are no cases on the consent docket. There are no cases withdrawn. We have two cases for individual consideration. The first applicant is 26 Northeast 9th Street. Is the applicant present? And can you come forward and state your name? Write it on a little piece of paper in front of you. Hi, Bruce. Welcome.
My name is Bruce Bacchus, and I'm representing Rick and Kyle Gillum, who have under contract the property at 26 Northeast 9th Street, contingent upon getting all governmental approval for their use. I resisted the temptation to bring my dog with me this morning.
Oh, too bad. He's so nice.
Thanks.
One of my dog's favorite playmates. Do you want to tell us about it, Bruce?
You bet. The Gillums would like to open a doggy daycare on this site, and the zoning ordinances are written in a way that cover everything, that yet not everything is covered. And doggy daycare, I'd say, is one of those things that really didn't even exist when maybe the downtown design district rules and regulations were settled upon, and our zoning certainly, because we have to kind of put it in a category that's not really them, but it's as close as we can get. And so we think that's what the governmental approval of is that's why you're here, is to make decisions when things don't quite fit. But we would like your approval to reuse this existing building as a doggy daycare. We're going to put in some parking. The idea is to keep the 3,500 square feet as it is, add a little covered area for our fuzzy friends on the south side away from the street, and then do a outdoor play area for the dogs, separating the large and small on the remainder of the property. We've met with Scotty, and I want to commend Scotty. I need a lot of help, and she provides a lot of help, so we worked really well together. And she does a great job of coaching applicants through the process to make sure we have everything you need to make a wise decision for our city. And I thank you for being public servants. I'm getting paid today to be here, and you're not, so thank you for your service to your city. I appreciate it. Did I cover what you wanted to hear?
I'm curious, I'm not sure that I see as much information as I would like to see. What is the canopy made out of?
Metal.
Does it have a permanent color? What's
Yes.
what are the columns made out of? Just
There are no columns.
oh, that's not. Oh, is that like a wall?
It's a suspended canopy. Betsy,
I'm sorry.
Madam Chairman, what picture are you looking at?
Exterior elevation number 4 has looks like the
Okay.
canopy, and then it looks like there's a
Okay.
wall.
On the south side, there is there's columns to hold up the south side covered porch for the small and large dogs. And so those are going to be plaster like the rest of the building. Currently, the building has a plaster coating on concrete block. It's in decent but not great shape, so we're going to repair it but keep it. The canopy will be a pre-finished metal. The signage will be the same as the canopy, so the canopy just turns vertical and becomes the sign. So the sign and the canopy are the same materials. The canopy, the existing garage door will become the entry to the facility, and there's 5 or 6 other windows that have been bricked in that we're going to take the brick out and reopen them and place the windows in to give more natural light inside the building. The existing overhead door that we're going to take out and make the entry is a little bit higher than we wanted our canopy to be, so we're going to lower the head height of that to 9 feet or 9.5 feet to allow a good canopy and not leave just a little sliver of window over the top of it. So the building will be have more personality. The canopy will definitely do that. The signage is meant to be able to be read from the east and the west, because that's the way you approach it, rather than placing a sign on the north side that you don't see until you arrive at the site. Going to take out the asphalt, put in a pedestrian plaza in front, which I think is in keeping with the kind of things you'd like to see. We will at some point apply for on-street parking in the future if that becomes evident that we need that. And we've had preliminary conversations with the city about that issue, and Scotty's helped direct us with that as well.
Okay. Scotty, do you have anything you want to visit with us about?
We don't have an issue with this structure or the accessories, the canopy, the fencing. We think that this use would be compatible with this neighborhood and probably would be an asset for the project that's coming in to the east of it as far as having a facility for their pets. And so we recommend approval with the condition that the applicant get a variance to the prohibition of the outdoor dog runs.
Okay. So we need a motion. Anybody have any questions? Anybody in the audience would like to speak on this? Any questions from the committee? Want a motion? Go for it.
I want to move that we approve the application on the basis that it complies with our guidelines, with the condition that the applicant receives a variance from the Board of Adjustment to allow the outdoor dog runs.
Second.
Okay. Gigi and Ike. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Right.
Okay, then we need another motion.
Are we doing?
Yeah. Board of Adjustment.
Oh. I recommend that we provide a recommendation of approval to the Board of Adjustment for the variance to allow the outdoor dog run.
And second.
Okay. Gigi and Ike. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you
being
very
here. We're looking forward to it. You're going to have an instantaneous group of customers there, so as soon as the apartments get built, so that's going to be very exciting.
Yeah. We're very excited about it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Next applicant, please. That would be 10th and Chartel. ADG, would the applicant come forward, state your name, write your name on the little piece of paper.
Scott Dedman with ADG, 116 East Sheridan.
Okay, and I want to state that I don't, Connie overheard this earlier, but this does happen to be my company, but with this particular issue, I don't think that I would vote any differently if it was anyone else, and we need my vote in order to have this application go through, because we're on the skinny side today. Does anybody have any issue with that?
Do not have an issue with it.
Okay. So, let's have Scotty just talk about that real quick, this application.
This application is to demolish the existing buildings. There are 4 on the site, 2 residential, 2 commercial. One of them has been identified as a historic resource that is a potentially eligible to be included in a historic district. So we have a few issues with that because of that. It is a resource. There are not a lot of resources of this mid-century modern architectural style left in the city or in this particular area. So if the committee feels like the loss of this one is not significant, it's not historically significant, then we ask that you offer a approve the application. If you feel like it is historically significant, we ask that you deny the application.
So this is on a site that we approved a 245?
327
300
unit.
Thank you.
We kind of got the cart before the horse, and
But it's a good illustration of the fact that there's more possible use for this land than this particular small building.
Yeah, this building sits on Chartel. It's currently being used as a storage building by St. Anthony. They may have emptied it by now, I don't know. But it's just a one-story, very simple box. We actually were not aware that it had any historic significance at all. It's just a very plain building on the site.
Any other comments, Scotty?
no.
Any questions from the committee? Do we have a motion?
Well, I will move approval, and I'm trying to find the place on the thing where it tells you everything you're supposed to say.
Page 3 of your staff report,
Um,
the last page.
I've got it. I move that we approve the application on the basis that the project meets the intent of the Downtown Design District zoning ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Great.
You have been approved.
All right.
Congratulations.
Good deal.
See you later.
You want to write that?
No, we've got other work here.
Thank you.
Okay, Scotty, you want to address this?
As soon as I find my copy of the, under other business, we have a proposal for an ordinance amendment that will address some issues with our process and procedures, our committee makeup. Mostly it addresses term limits and a little bit of the voting procedures. We're also including some discretionary review procedures that address murals or the modifications to murals. Then we have a little cleanup work where we clarified some of the ordinance amendments or ordinance regulations and guidelines that we have discovered were not as clear as we would like them to be, and that includes utility screening and fencing, and then same thing on the design guidelines. We have added, we have addressed synthetic fiber cement board panels, because those have come into play a lot, so we wanted to at least have some guidelines there that would allow us to really point to a particular reference whenever we have applicants who are proposing that. The rest of that is just really reordering the section to allow this to be inserted in the middle. And then we have done some cleanup on the table to add an additional reference note or to reference a section that deals with some facets of the cottage district.
What is it? Can you describe that a little bit more?
Right. It leads you to another table.
Oh, okay. Any questions, you guys? No, what is this just, so this is approval of
We
the
would like
amendment?
you, if you feel like you've had enough time to study it, we would like you to give us a recommendation to move forward on this. We're trying to push it forward quickly so that we can resolve some of the term issues before the time for some of our committee members to rotate off, and we also have some issues that we need to clean up. We're trying to combine all the design districts into one ordinance, so we're trying to combine all of them, and this will be the first one that's heard.
Okay. Just to let you know, I haven't reviewed it yet, so I'll try to do
Yeah,
that.
check your emails, because we did send it to you. I think
yesterday. So I'm just saying, yeah.
It's short.
I will explain that.
Okay.
Can we go ahead and vote on it, or? Okay.
I'm just saying that if
We-
there's some problems with it,
We did make one change that you don't see on this one, so you need to bear that in mind also. Formerly, you were allowed to rotate off for 3 years. You were required to rotate off for 3 years. We've now changed that to rotating off for 1 year before you can
Oh,
reapply
that's good.
for, because it's
We-
difficult
we
to
don't
get
have a
good
huge
quality,
pool of-
people.
Can I just ask you, because I'm just a little bit confused on is it 3 consecutive 3-year terms? So is the term 9 years?
Yes.
You can be on 3 9-year
I mean, but
terms.
that's what it says the term is now. Each committee member shall serve for 3 consecutive 3-year terms. So you're saying your term is 9 years?
If the mayor reappoints you every time.
Well, this is saying, the way I'm reading it, it's saying it's a 3 consecutive 3-year terms is what the term is,
Well,
under term of membership.
So let's talk about what that said
I'm not sure.
before.
Before, it just said no member shall, I thought it was a 3-year term, 1 3-year term.
Actually, it started to try to get like a, I guess,
Staggered it at the
staggered
beginning.
terms.
Yeah, the onset.
They limited, okay, let's just say it. Maybe I shouldn't say it out loud on tape.
Originally, it was set up staggered so that there would be, we wouldn't have all members that had to rotate off. And it did say, shall serve for 3 terms. And then below that, it said they would have to rotate off, having served 3 full 3-year terms.
Okay, well, I still don't understand. What is the term? How long is your term? Like when you're appointed?
3 years.
You're appointed for 3 years, but,
That's not what
and you
this
may
says,
be
though.
reappointed each year, each of those 3 terms, but no more than 3 consecutive terms before you have to rotate off for a year.
Okay, well, we need to reword that.
Okay,
To me, it says your term is 3 consecutive 3-year terms.
The way it was worded was,
I didn't understand
the
that.
term of each committee member shall be for 3-year terms until his or her successor takes office. Members may be appointed to fill the remainder of the vacant terms. No member shall serve more than 3 consecutive terms. Members who have served 3 consecutive terms may be reappointed after being rotated off the commission for at least 1 full 3-year term. So that's another place that you're planning to change it. But I do see what Susan is saying. It says, it would probably clear it up if we said,
Each member shall serve
Serve
a term of 3
years.
years, and then say something about it can be reappointed 3, whatever, but the way this reads is like, to me, a 9-year
No.
term.
They'll serve for 3-year terms, is what it said before. They can serve for
well, can we
three-year
change the shall to a may? Would that change the?
I don't know, I think I'll try to reword that, but what you're wanting is, when they appoint you, you're appointed for 3 years. That is, your term is 3 years.
But you can
But
serve
then you could
up
be
to
reappointed.
be
Yeah, so
reappointed
let's
for
reword that.
3-year terms.
Okay.
For a total of 9 years.
Right.
I think we're all on the same
And then
page.
then you'll rotate off for 1 year, and then you can be put back on.
Because originally it was, the staggered thing said three terms only, even though one of the terms might have been a 1 year.
Yeah.
So that's why we were.
That's why we wanted it, because a lot of our experiences would be rotated off this May, and then our next amount of experience would be rotated off next May, and it's going to leave the commission in kind of a bad spot.
A new state all at one time. A new, newness, so. Okay, all right.
Well, I think we can just clear that out, just so that doesn't...
Can we vote on it and then have you, reword it, or do you want it to be reworded?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that with that change, the intent of that change or whatever.
I just wanted to comment off that topic, but I just wanted to comment to Scotty that I really appreciate the percentages on the synthetic stucco and the siding and all of that. I appreciate that. I think that's really helpful, so thanks.
Yes. I thought it was too. It makes it
helps,
easier for me.
Yeah, it helps Scotty, for sure. I do,
helps us as well, so.
as I've been studying the whole stucco thing, we have some buildings that are all stucco, and I'm not sold on the fact that stucco is better. So I think that's something that we should look at in the future.
Yeah.
Because we're in the industry, we're dealing with less and less craftsmen, people that can actually do all of the work the way that we need them to do it, and make it live a long time. And with stucco is a very, and ephes also, I mean, this is kind of all that, the same type of thing. The application, it's actually constructing a finish when you do stucco, because of all the different layers that you have to do and stuff. So I would say that we should look at what...
Limiting any of those composite materials like the stucco and ephes and...
Yeah, I
because
would...
they are all right if they're properly applied and if they're maintained. You don't have to do as much work on a more durable material like a brick or a stone.
Yeah, one of the
And since we can't regulate how it's applied or how it's installed or how it's maintained, so
Right.
It kind of puts us in a bind as, do we limit the number of it thinking that'll be easier for them to maintain, or do you just take your chances that they will be conscientious?
ephes, if it really is like drive it, requires certified installers, and then the overall company comes out and inspects. One of the issues with drive it is the fact that it's on the insulation board that is pliable, and so if they don't use the right kind of mesh on top of it to strengthen it, then it becomes easier to damage. However, when they apply with ephes, there's no guarantee that they're going to use drive it. And that's one of the, because there's very, very cheap versions out there too.
Well, if you'll send me your thoughts on what you'd like to see to address that, we can we're going to have another ordinance amendment more likely next year, if you want to wait until then, so we can address some more issues, or we can put this one off and add it to this one. That just means...
You know, we're seeing so much multifamily right now, and that's only going to continue, that I appreciate the definition of these, and I think I'm okay with 20% overall. Actually, 50% of the, above the third floor for the synthetic stucco is, the 50% in my mind is a lot, and that's a more expensive maintenance project when it's above the third floor anyway.
But you don't have incidental damage from, like you would at the street
At
level.
the street level, for sure.
You do have hail, you do
Yeah.
have high winds.
Yeah.
And you know, on a note that Betsy
Yeah.
brought up, maybe we could add some language in there that says that if they're going to install the EFIS, then it has to be installed in a way that meets the manufacturer's minimum specifications. As far as that, I mean, maybe that would cover the mesh. Would that?
I think we probably need to work on that
Okay.
a little bit and make sure we get,
And that's really not a design issue, and we don't have the capability or the authority to go out and inspect them as being installed. We just look at the finished product. If it looks like what was approved, then the inspector will final it. So we don't really have any control over how it's manufactured, how it's applied. We could certainly ask for more information, ask for a product warranty when we approve it, but that doesn't mean that that's going to happen out in the field.
well, yeah, it doesn't mean that they're going to install it. And if the material has a warranty and the manufacturer finds fault in the way it's installed, then they don't.
The warranties, no.
Yeah. So it's a big issue, but we do need to recognize the fact that people are going to be coming in with new and different materials, and we need to stay on top of that. So
Right.
I think you're doing a good job for starts. I think we might need to look at it further, but I don't know that we can do that in the time frame that we're talking about.
Well,
We have had some new materials. You know, I really loved the zinc on the back of the Marriott Hotel. I personally thought that was a great material.
I don't think Scotty likes it.
Well,
I thought that was a
She
good
wears her
choice for
heart on
that
her sleeve.
particular alley, way.
yeah. In that location, it's not bad, but there are some problems with that type of padding. It depends on whether they have concealed fasteners or whether the fasteners are applied to the top. I've seen pictures where they were exterior fasteners and there was some deflection in the material when they put those connectors on. And the seams kind of popped apart too. So again, that's workmanship that we can't really address, right?
Okay. Anyway, do we have a motion on this?
Shall we move to approve with the revisions pending? Is that what we should say, or?
Susan?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a second?
If there's something major, I'll
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's the intent of everything's here, then that's fine.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
That's Connie. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Got that. Now, we have administrative approvals. Anything exciting about that? Scotty?
I've slept since then. Nothing really exciting.
What's Rod Baker doing to that mode thing?
He had some structural issues with he's taking away some of the window, or just rearranging some of the windows on the alley side that faces west. And now he's also asking for a reduction in the windows on some of the buildings that face 9th Street because of a structural issue. Evidently, their structure or their the way it's being constructed, the engineer wants them to have more columns in that location, so they're going to have to eliminate one of the windows. They have 2 windows on the front they're going to have to go to one window on the front at the street level.
Okay. Anything else? Some work at Park House, they're going to remove some canopies and add some canopies, is that?
Well, they decided not to put the round canopy. Now they're going to have kind of like a gateway portal, and it's going to have the mesh screens with growing materials on the side of it, and then they've got some additional signage out by the street for the Park House.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about with that? Anything more interesting? Okay.
What could be more interesting than this?
This is very interesting. Okay, any other comments from the committee? Next meeting date is March 20th. Applications need to be to the staff by the 18th of February. So how's our next month look?
We have a case, I think it's ADG.
We have a case, another case?
We just have your case.
Oh, the
Yeah.
landscape and stuff.
We have the landscape for the project over on Chartel, and we also have signage for Leadership Square that exceeds my limits. So they're going to be replacing the interjects with another company has bought them out evidently. So they're going to
Okay.
replace the signs on that. So we do have two cases that go before you.
Okay. Great. Anything else, guys? We're adjourned.